Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Ether Show. God damn, it's been a while. It's been 8 months since my last upload, and I've still been getting messages from you guys. First off, that's the first thing I want to say is thank you to everyone who still, was telling me or asking me about, where the podcast went and stuff like that, because you guys actually made me feel like I could come back and I could still continue to do this instead of just kind of giving up on it, because it's kind of hard to bounce off of your own ideas when it's just you. Um, but yeah, that's the first thing I want to say. I want to thank everybody that was still messaging me and asking me where the podcast went, or letting me know that they're hoping, they're coming back, kind of giving me that hope. I figured this podcast episode I would just go ahead and talk about what happened and why I wasn't or why I stopped recording. I mean, I'm not gonna get into all the crazy stuff that kind of happened, but I am just gonna be honest about what was going on in my head and stuff like that. And yeah, so I guess first off, I'm not gonna pretend like it wasn't laziness. I'm just gonna get that off the board right there, right? That was for sure one of the main things. Was I was starting to procrastinate too much. I was getting comfortable. I started getting lazy. And I was like, man, do I really want to write this outline? You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to take the time to do the work to have a good podcast. So that's the first thing. It was definitely a lot of laziness, but there were other things that were going on too, and stuff whether within a relationship, and we had a guest that was here, that was living here, and she was kind of messing things up, making it uncomfortable, and she had to leave. um yeah, man, there was a lot of different stuff kind of going on as well that was kind of putting a strain on me. And at the time I was also working 60 to 80 hours a week at my job, because I was trying to get over to Washington and stuff like that, which I did end up going. It was beautiful. It was so nice over there. I loved it. But yeah, man, so there were other factors, of course. I'm not going to pretend, obviously, like I said, that laziness wasn't one of them. But I also felt um, doing the podcast, one, like I said before, it's hard to kind of go off of your own ideas when you're trying to find guests or like-minded individuals that you can bring onto the podcast, and can also provide the type of content that you want. If you want to talk about positivity or a certain subject, I'm not saying you have to have a specialist, but someone that kind of understands or is self-aware of themselves and can talk about their experiences and kind of how it kind of helped them out. That was the kind of guests that I want on the podcast, and it was just kind of difficult to find them. So bouncing off of my own ideas for those 2 months, especially being a new creator, was pretty difficult for me, which is one of the reasons why I stopped. Another reason was simply because I felt the need to have all the answers, and I realize now that that was wrong. And not in the sense I gypped you guys, or what I was saying to you guys wasn't true, because I genuinely believe in those things. I still try to follow them, but I had the expectation of perfection, and I wanted to follow that, and I wanted to have all the answers to give to you, when in reality, I mean, at least the way I see it, I don't really think there's answers. I think there's recipes, I guess you could say, that people come up with that work for them, and you share those recipes with other people, and maybe they take a few ingredients, maybe they take a few things that they like that you do, and they adjust it to their own life. Because I think I've mentioned before on the podcast somewhere 8 months ago that life's very contextual, right? You got to adjust it to how you like it, because you can't be like the person that you see and how they produce content, because you're a completely different person, you have a totally different vibe, all this other stuff, so that's another reason why. And I would say I would say that this break kind of helped me out, a lot. It really helped me kind of see things clearly, learn more about myself, and also kind of getting very obviously it was very slowly as it came to me, because learning takes a while for me sometimes. But um, I just kind of started to realize that I don't need to have all the answers, maybe I just need to share experiences, or maybe things that I just believe, um, and yeah, and maybe you guys, that's what you guys are kind of into, maybe you guys are you know what, man, you don't have to tell me what to do, but just knowing that someone's there to actually believe in me, or someone's there to has the kind of right mindset that I'm kind of looking for, and getting advice from that person is something that maybe you guys are just looking for. So now I realize that now, And I would say the another reason why I stopped was because I wasn't sure how I wanted to take the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really like conversation. Like, I love talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm definitely over the time that I realized I wanted to do the podcast up to now. Like, I've definitely realized I'm a communicator. You know, like I like talking, and especially about positivity. But that's not all that I like to talk about. You know, like I definitely like to get into other subjects. Like, I would love to come onto this podcast and not only talk about positivity, but like maybe like we just talk about conspiracy theories or something like that. Like, I want it to be like going back to contextuality. I want it to be my podcast instead of like really having like this expectation of how other people want it shaped, and it's not in the sense that like anyone made me feel pressured or anything like that, but I think I just cared too much about the opinions of others instead of realizing the vision that I had for the podcast. And I think that a lot of people do that. Anyone that's tried to make any sort of content or anything like that, um, they get like sucked into, again, the idea of like this perfect podcast that everyone loves and this and that, when in reality, like, you should be enjoying it and doing it the way that you want to do it, so I think coming up with these new episodes and stuff like that and coming back, I'm definitely going to be talking about a lot of other things as well, not only just positivity. And of course, like, if you're there, if you're here for this podcast for positivity, I'll definitely make like positive episodes with like mentioning like things that I do when it comes to, like, for example, anger. That's the next episode I'm making, right? And things like that. But I think I'm also going to feature episodes about like maybe like where I just have a guest on that's like, whether it be like a friend or someone that I don't know, and we're just kind of talking about the current events that are going on and stuff like that, because I like talking about that stuff too. I don't like arguing though, because like so I might be careful with that, but I don't like the arguing and the debates, but I do like talking about it open and not feeling like I have to hide something, like I think I've mentioned that before, like way back, that being able to just actually like talk, with you guys, and like it's kind of like me like venting in a sense, I guess, and it feels pretty good, so I think that's the direction I'm going to be taking the podcast into, and I wanted you guys to know that. And I also like let me know what like your thoughts are on that too. Like, maybe you guys are like, oh hell yeah, that's cool as hell, or maybe you're like, oh, like I kind of like the positive stuff, but I'll stick around for that, I do want to know what you guys think, but like I said before, I will be shaping into the way that I see it growing into. The other thing I wanted to share with you guys is that also the length of the podcasts are also going to go down. They're not going to be like 30 to 20 minutes anymore. It's going to be like 10 to 15, unless I really feel like diving into the topic. And that's because I feel like whenever I was recording, like the genuine things that I had to say would stop. I'm not going to say stop becoming genuine, because they were always like I said before, like things that I believed in, things that like I wanted to share with people, because I feel like maybe them trying those same things would help them with whatever it was that they needed help with. But in the sense that it felt like I was idling, like I was just finding more things to say to make the time extend, so that way I can meet like this mandatory 20 to 30 minute podcast episode. So like the times are gonna definitely reduce down, unless I have like a guest on. Obviously, I'm not gonna like waste their time. If they come here, I'm gonna be talking with them for like an hour. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to know that, like I know a lot of you guys did like when the podcasts were longer, but they're gonna reduce down, and unless I go in on a subject, like it's a subject that like I feel like there's a lot to say and I just want to get it all off my chest. But yeah, guys, I just wanted you guys to know that I'm back basically, and I'm gonna be consistent with this now, because even during those 8 months when I wasn't podcasting, I never really stopped thinking about it. Like it was always on my mind, and I was like, maybe I should do it again. Like maybe I should go back and start trying to talk about positivity. And then, again, those things in my head, like the conflicts, like, damn, it's only positivity. It's the only thing I talk about. And damn, I don't even have any guests. And right. So like all that stuff was juggling around, and I was thinking that, but I never stopped thinking about it, like coming back and doing this. And I'm glad I did, like, before I sat down, I had just came back from a walk, and I was like, yeah, and usually whenever I go on walks with my dog or anything like that, I'll usually put in my motivational stuff, put my earphones in, and I'll start walking. And I was like, you know what, man, like you're you like a lot of the motive, and this is like obviously me talking to myself in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, like you like a lot of the motivational stuff, but it doesn't seem like you're applying it as much as you used to. And so I was like, you know what? And I also want to develop like healthier habits, like, and just that's my like my personal thing, like I'm just like, you know what? Like I want to be better. And so I was just listening to this ebook as I was walking my dog. And let me go ahead and pull up the the name of the book so you guys can check it out. It's so funny. I used to like be so weird about like doing something in the middle of a podcast. So I thought it'd be like interrupting or like weird, and now it's like I don't even give a shit because I've seen I've seen like plenty of podcasters like do this, and I'm like, damn, like I want to be that relaxed. I want to be that chill with you guys, where it's like we all kind of are just chill as fuck, So the book is called "When Things Fall Apart" by Pema Chodron, and this is the quote I'm gonna leave with you guys for the day. Um, well, it's not a quote; it's more of like a story. I actually had to like stop the podcast real quick and reread it again. But what happens is this woman, Pema Chodron, she's I think she's like somewhere in like this place where they meditate. I'm sorry, I don't know the actual legitimate names of like the places that they're at, but this woman comes up to her and she says, "Oh, did you see the sun or the sunrise this morning?" And she says, "No, I was too busy doing things like whatever she had to do for the day. She's just been racing around." And the woman laughed and she's like, "So you're too busy to live?" And and as I was walking my dog, I was like, "Damn, dude," like first off, that quote like hit me because I'm always in like this mentality where I have to be better, or I should always be improving, or I should always be doing something, like especially with this quarantine, man. Oh my god, like I became so lazy, like and I hated it. I'm not saying that I wasn't lazy before, but someone who already has problems with self-discipline, and then like, you know is gonna definitely get way more affected when something like this happens, right? When we all have to just stay home and do nothing. um but like when I was walking and I heard the story, I was like, damn, like I wish I had someone to talk with this about. Like I love hearing things like this and like having a conversation with someone. And I was like, dude, I was like, that the podcast, like what the hell are you doing? Go home right now after you're done walking the dog, eat something, right? Like don't skip breakfast, whatever the hell, and sit down and like just talk about like one where you were at, and then two, like just whatever the hell you want to talk about, just to get it off your chest, or whatever. Because like I've said before, like I don't know a whole lot of people that are like have the same mentality. And it's not in the sense that like I look down on anyone or anything like that, because I've had someone tell me that I was being like demeaning towards them, and I was like, oh no, not at all, bro. I don't I don't fuck with that shit at all. Like um I don't think that I'm better than anyone. I just like to have conversations like that as well, like where we do talk about self-improvement, and we do talk about like the goals that we have, and like uh, things that give hope. I like talking about that type of shit. But yeah, so I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and end this episode right here, guys. I just wanted to go ahead and let you guys know that I'm back, why I was gone, and hopefully that little story is something for you guys to remember, because everything was so fast paced and it slowed down. And because of this quarantine, honestly, I'm not gonna say that like it's a good thing, because there's obviously a lot of people that have passed, and that sucks, man. Like I feel for those families. That's terrible. But it's given a lot of people time to spend time with people that they love, people that they care about, and actually have the chance to live. Like I never realized how little time I spent with my family. I didn't notice how little time I was spending with my friends, because I was in the pursuit of something else. Like quality time and living life needs to become so much bigger part of like it should be a bigger part of your priorities, because like I've said time and time again, man, this is it. We're not going to get any younger. You don't know when you're going to die. So make sure that you do those things that you want to do, man. Like go out there and live, bro. Because what else are we going to do, right? Like just be miserable our whole goddamn lives. I'm good on that. I'd much rather have stories to tell. So yeah, man, thank you guys so much for listening. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, man. I'll let you guys know when the next episode is up. I'm gonna try and still do weekly. I think weekly posts are always super great. You can go ahead and follow the Ether Show page on Instagram. It's the underscore ether underscore show. And then also there's a Facebook fan page, the Ether Show. Go ahead and check it out, guys. Have a good rest of your day.